Hello and welcome to Waypoint Podcast E3 coverage. Nintendo is on the docket today. Joining me as part of Waypoint, we got Chris, we got Jordan, we got Brett, we got Brett, Brittany apparently. But as our special guest, we got Carlos joining us once again from the fiasco that was Capcom. We'll keep the
Go watch that if you haven't.
Yeah, watch that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Good stuff.
We made
hopefully,
it fun.
Hopefully Nintendo.
Yeah, we made it fun.
Fared a little more better. I heard you guys made it fun. I haven't even watched it. I'm terrible, but I've heard that there's like an in-joke going on there. People need to watch that to find out. Okay.
It's not that I don't trust you guys, but to be fair, making it more fun than the actual presentation is a low bar.
Oh, yeah, it's a good point. It's a very good point for sure. Yeah. So this
Chris could have farted on air and it'd been fine.
Would have been better. So this being Nintendo, this is pretty much the finale of our E3 coverage. Besides the E3 recap that we will be recording at a later date. But this is it. We're all exhausted, so keep our energies with what you will. Just keep that in mind. But the first thing we got to talk about is the Breath of the Wild 2, right? Is that even the official title of this game? Is it called Breath of the Wild 2? Okay, so far.
I love that Nintendo's.
Even this video that I'm looking at, so we get the like the replay of it going here, or whatever. It's literally just listed as sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
It's so
that's
weird,
the most
right?
Nintendo shit ever.
That's on the Nintendo channel.
That's just
yeah.
That's just very weird to me. But
Because
yeah,
because none of the Zelda sequels have ever been called a 2. I'm talking like the ones that are like direct sequels to each other, not anything in the series. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot here already from jump though. Like, just seeing visually, I mean, Link has like a Sheikah symbol on his shield, right? It seems like a pseudo-esque.
He started from jumping in the sky, so I think they're teasing a battle royale.
Looks like he's Fortnite.
So
it looks like he's got like a metal arm.
For the the jumping from the sky thing, I was like okay, yeah, it's like very like Skyward Sword-esque. But then there's so many shots of it, especially like with the arm, what we've seen of like Ganon and a couple of the enemies so far, as well as like some of the audio cues and just the visual design of the scene that's playing right now. It really makes me think like Twilight Princess, like Twilight Realm. And so it's like this cool like mix of things, like all kind of being mashed into Breath of the Wild, which is really, really neat. I'm hoping to see like we go back into the Twilight Realm or something. Like all of that would be really cool.
I would love to see Midna again in one way, shape, or form. Like I thought that capped so well in that game, but like I mean, looking at it specifically, like it'd be in my head canon. How cool would it be if you just see Link get maimed so bad that he has to get like a metal arm or something like so unlike Zelda, and like it looked like she like falls to her death like in the very beginning. So how crazy would that be? You kill Zelda, you have to go back in time for some reason, and Link's got a metal arm. Go.
They Bucky Barnes'd him.
Yeah, that's
right.
It is the Winter Soldier.
Sure. Yeah.
Legend of Zelda: The Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Brett.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Link going through like the granite block almost got like some Link Between Worlds vibes. Yeah, like in the verticality of like going more into the sky, it seems like with some sort of Skyward Sword connection or at least vibe, especially with that battle royale shot that Jordan was talking about. The time, some sort of time mechanic with the water dropping in reverse, like it. I didn't expect it to go this way because we were like, is it going to go underground? Is it going to go above ground? Is it going to add like proper dungeons? Which I thought we got a peek of something that looked like that, like an actual dungeon, which was like one of the bigger complaints from Breath of the Wild. But either way, like I loved it. That was amazing. Got me hyped already. I was already hyped, but it got me more hyped.
I would say it looks like there has to be some kind of time mechanic because even the music like plays almost like in a reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are musical cues that people were pointing out for sure.
There's also like all of those things where we see that look like they take place after Ganon's castle or like Hyrule Castle like starts like floating in the sky. Link's got long hair, or we assume that's Link. I mean, as like look at the shot right here. If you guys are watching the screen share, I mean, Link's got himself a long mane of hair.
Well, you know, he's been in quarantine. He couldn't go to the barber.
Yeah.
So, what do we think about the date of 2022? Were we expecting that?
Yeah,
I think it's a good window.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been surprised.
This was dropping this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to find out like 10 years from now that like they were aiming for 2021, but everything kind of got in the way, and so they pushed it a year.
Yeah.
I'm also a big believer in the theory, and this is not like a huge theory, but like that Breath of the Wild 2, Splatoon 3, and Pokemon Legends Arceus, that's going to be like the launch window for the Switch Pro someday when they finally announce it. At this point, it's an open secret.
I'm not a believer. I'm still unconvinced we're getting a Switch Pro.
Here's the thing. A few years ago, where people just kind of assumed we were going to get it because Nintendo always does iterations, I was like, well, we don't really know that. But the past few months, information coming from like very respected games journalists, I'm just like, this is an open secret. Like, it's happening.
Yeah.
Sure. I'd like it.
Yeah, when there's smoke, there's fire in this point, yeah.
Yeah.
So we think, like, if we get a Switch Pro, it would be like fall next year.
Yeah, I think if an iteration on the Switch is happening, it's going to be 2022.
Yeah, I'd say earlier if they want to make.
Yeah,
they want to.
Because didn't the Switch itself like drop in like March or April or something? Like I feel like if they're going to try and they're going to try and hit it like early in the year again, because it sold gangbusters when they did that. Like,
yeah. Also, Legends Arceus is coming out end of January.
Yeah.
So if you assume that that's going to be a game that's one of their like, hey, this is optimized for the Switch Pro, it would have to come out. Maybe that's the launch title, and then Splatoon and Zelda are launch window.
Yeah, maybe.
Or do you kind of go like radio silent?
I can see Zelda being later in the year too, but still like driving that sort of enhanced for Switch Pro kind of thing. Like
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. The only thing I would see. Because in my head, I would see it launching with Arceus, right? Just because that game looked like it was chugging when they first announced it.
It was not
like
great.
On regular Switch. Yeah, I mean, like the concept is great. It's just like it looked like it was rough. So why not? In my head, with the chip shortage and everything going on in the world, save it till Zelda, and then like when you announce it and everything, but hey, by the way, you have Arceus. It's awesome. It'll play better on Pro. If you want to hold out, it's up to you guys, but I just want to let you guys know.
Yeah. What I'm gathering from that, I do want to move on from this. I don't want to take too much time on this gangbuster of a game, but Arceus should be delayed, is what I'm hearing, right?
Possibly. I can see
that. You shut your whore mouth.
Here's the thing. If they do decide to launch the alleged Switch Pro in like March or April, and they want to have like a big title for it, I can see them pushing Pokemon back a few months.
I'm saying, man.
Especially since the release of the Diamond Pearl remakes is pretty damn close to the release of Arceus too.
Yeah, it's November and then end of January.
Okay, any last thoughts on sequel?
Looks very cool. Can't wait. Breath of the Wild is still my favorite Switch game. I'm so excited for a sequel.
I just wanted to point one more thing, which like I know we're talking about like, oh, the game might have to do with time and reversing time, and Link looks different, so it might not be Link. If time travel didn't time travel play into Hyrule Warriors 2?
Yes.
Wasn't there?
Yes.
And Skyward Sword as well. Yeah.
Skyward Sword. Okay. So
time, Majora's Mask.
So they've dabbled.
Yeah.
They've dabbled.
Well, I just meant more in the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but
No,
and I mean, I'm not gonna get too into spoiler territory. It's like, but because of some of that time travel shit, some stuff happens that essentially makes the game non-canon.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Gotcha.
Okay, moving on. Breath of the Wild looks amazing, and I'm sure people will wait as long as they need for that game.
Excited.
That's pretty much the consensus.
Yes, take your time. Take your time, Nintendo.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, please take your time.
Next on my docket is Tekken's Kazuya Mishima announced for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for June 20th.
This trailer, man. This trailer. Once it got to right here, if everyone's watching, like that volcano, I was like, oh no, this is Tekken. This is Tekken.
Such a classic Tekken shot. It's been in so many of the games at this point. And it's like, I think Carlos and I are about to start vibing over this. I'm a huge Tekken fan. I love fighting games in general. I'm so happy that another fighting game is getting representation in Smash Brothers after we've gotten Street Fighter and King of Fighters. So I mean, Tekken's one of my favorite fighting games, just like out of that whole thing, and they did such a fantastic job of representing his moveset too, like the spin kicks there, the fire punches here, like that combo that looks like it's from fucking Tekken. It's so good. There's even a point in, and I don't know how much we're watching this, but I mean it's like they even like recreated like the shot that they used to create like the Bandai Namco logo in all of their games of Jin
like
and
the
Kazuma,
stomp.
like doing the stomp punch right here.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, right there.
Like that's so fucking cool. I love this trailer, man.
At that. Yeah.
This is my favorite announcement.
And even
from
really,
today.
even like the special effects, right? Like when he's like hitting him, right, with the spin kick, like that burst of energy. That's straight out of Tekken.
Oh yeah, and the sound effects and everything are exactly what it is.
The music is what got me.
And I know somebody's like, wow, really? This is like, here's the thing. I love Tekken. I love Smash Brothers. Like, I've got a. I mean, this is my Fox Down B, like the Shine tattoo. Even like I adore Smash Brothers, and so yeah, this is a match made in heaven for me personally. And so yeah, it ended up being my favorite thing. They even have like Kazuya's Devil Mode in there. Like, come on, dude. Yeah. Come on.
I was waiting for like Jin to get announced as like a clone fighter or something like that.
It's surprising that he's not, right? Like that's a little interesting. You can see, yeah, they do have a Heihachi in the background, which is really, really cool. I like that his stage is the Heihachi dojo. Like all of this is really rad.
Tekken was the first fighting game I ever played. I remember really enjoying it. So that's about all I can say about Tekken.
Also, at that point here in the trailer too, right at the end, like the Kazuya wins sort of thing. That's actually in the trailer. It was the Tekken announcer, not the Smash Brother one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's a nice touch.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, Bandai Namco works on the games, right? That'd be really cool if they got him to like just redub everything as like part of like the DLC pack.
Yeah.
Sure. As someone who is not really into Smash, like these trailers, regardless of this one, are always super dope, and I always love seeing them. I love seeing them announce a new character.
The trailer with Ganondorf at the beginning.
I thought it was Breath of the Wild, man. I was like, yes, and then yeah, the shot of the volcano hits, and I went, no.
Yeah, I thought it was Breath of the Wild. I basically thought it was Breath of the Wild because I'm not familiar with Tekken until they did the stop and is the next to join the battle. All right, that's Smash, but they knew what they were doing. Dark environment. The first thing you see is Ganondorf.
They did exactly.
I freaked the fuck out the second I saw that volcano. I was like, in my head, I was like, it's a Mishima. A Mishima always kills somebody in a volcano.
Yeah, 100%. Plus, one of my favorite things every time that they do like these DLC characters, I mean, is when Sakurai does the Sakurai Presents things later. Like he gives such a where it just keeps cutting between all these characters. I love it. But
I like it then when Kirby.
Sakurai loves fighting games, and so you know that he's going to give you like a whole ass Tekken history lesson when they do like the character breakdown in a couple weeks. And so I
can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that. I loved especially because Sakurai was such a big King of Fighters fan when Terry launched. Like he just went full send into this. I believe I've heard that Sakurai also plays Tekken, so I'm expecting like a really, really cool.
What did they say? June 28th for
June 28th
the
is going to be is going to be the character breakdown. And typically, like in the past, those character breakdowns are always like a day or two before the character launches.
Let's just watch this real quick.
Also, shout out to Corey Cudney for making the kind of funny joke
dude.
With,
so
like pulling all the shows.
Yeah, with party mode.
So fast.
So quickly too, he did that.
I do want to add one thing that this does make me feel like Crash Bandicoot not coming to Switch or not coming to Super Smash Bros.
No, I don't think he is.
Yeah, so
one more character.
I want to say something. Yeah, I want to say something to that, Austin, and Chris. You brought that up. You brought this up at the beginning, but with is it Kazuya? Is that how you pronounce it?
Kazuya, yeah.
Yeah. When he got announced, like I played a couple of Tekken games, so I'm not like a hardcore fan. So when he got announced, I was like, oh, that's like, not the most exciting thing in the world for me personally. But then, and as you said, this Chris is like, oh, they brought in Terry. They're bringing in like the way I thought of Ultimate was like the ultimate fighting game and the ultimate representation of the fighting game genre. So I got Master Chief out of my head. I got Crash out of my head. But I was like, okay, like I love the celebration of fighting games.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. I like that.
Yeah. It works in that.
It's such a cool thing because you can sit down and create a game that's like, you can have Kazuma, Ryu, Terry, and like fucking Steve from Minecraft, like all like in a match together, and that's the weirdest fucking thing in the world. It's
magic.
Minecraft is my favorite fighting game.
they don't have a fourth fighting game representative. Technically, Ken from Street Fighter is in, but I mean, they already had Ryu. I was just trying to think like separate titles.
Well, I mean, if they want to go the most classic, like you think we get Sub-Zero or Scorpion as the last one?
Dude, don't tease me, bro. Don't tease me, bro.
I would freak the fuck out.
going off of that,
don't you dare put that out there.
I know you're saying they're like focusing on the fighting game as a genre, and I agree that's a nice touch. But I still think it's Waluigi. I still think the finale is Waluigi.
No, that's my actual prediction is that they're gonna go. Unless they go,
like,
we're actually doing a third one. Because I know after the first one, people are like, oh, this is all we're getting. They're like, nope, we're actually doing a whole second pack.
Sure.
If they actually do make this the last fighting... Sorry, if they actually do make this the last one, I think they're going to be like, fuck it. Here's an update. He's no longer an assist trophy. Waluigi's a playable character. Shut the fuck up.
They could just not make him assist character anymore and then just add another character on top of that.
Yeah, because that was everyone's excuse. They're like, well, he's an assist trophy. All right, then fucking take it out.
Exactly.
Ridley was too at one point.
Yeah, Ridley was too.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just gonna be somebody stupid. Like, and it's
gonna be something. They're not gonna have anything substantial for like the last one.
It's gonna be fucking Toad or something. Like, I mean,
it's a new Fire Emblem game.
Yeah, it's another Fire
Emblem. That's what it's gonna be. That was my worry with the direct, and then I saw Kazuya, and I was like, oh, all right, you know what? I'm happy about this.
Do you guys think that? That they actually make this the last one? Or do you think that they'll be like, all right, here, we're going to throw... Maybe they don't do like here's another pack with 5, and we're going to break them off throughout 2 years. But do you think that sporadically they'll add people in?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
It depends how much work.
Nintendo and with Sakurai, I mean, it's just... It could go any...
Yeah, Sakurai.
It could go any direction.
The important part there is how much work Sakurai wants to keep doing on this damn game.
I know, dude. My boy needs to rest.
He deserves a break.
My boy needs to rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts? I'm gonna move on to
very rad.
Very rad.
Yeah, so excited. Everyone play Tekken. It's awesome.
Yeah, please play Tekken. Oh my god, play Tekken 7. It's so good.
Sure. That story mode is great.
So moving on, we have Metroid Dread, which apparently is a game announced years and years ago.
Let's go.
Okay, Brett, I'm gonna let Brett take this away.
Yeah, go.
Okay. We have been waiting 20 years for the sequel to Metroid Fusion. Metroid Prime, great franchise, in the middle of the timeline. Other M, bad game, in the middle of the timeline. Federation Force, bad game, middle of the timeline. They have refused to set the story after Fusion for so long. I never thought they were going to do it, and when they announced it today, I lost my freaking mind.
It's a dope name.
Yeah, when was Dread originally announced?
I'm sorry, what was that, Carlos?
It was originally announced like way back in the day, right?
Yeah. Like 2005. I looked it up.
Yeah,
so, long time ago.
So there's two like Easter eggs. Was one the rumored development of it being a DS game, way back in like 2005, and then in Metroid Prime 3 they put a codex entry in the Space Pirate planet hinting at Metroid Dread, which made it seem imminent. And then they never followed up on it, and we got Other M and Federation Force and other Metroid games after that. So yeah, it's been a long time coming. I never thought they were going to do it because Sakamoto, one of the lead creatives of the Metroid franchise, had always refused to make a sequel to Fusion, and I can't believe we're here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, this looks like a game I'll play because I've never played a Metroid game, so this looks fun. I'm in.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous. If you can't play Metroid, you should play Metroid Fusion if you can. By any means.
If you find it, I agree with Brett on that one. That game is just haunting.
That's honestly one of my favorite Metroids. It's incredible. It's the Metroid game that changes the status quo the most, and this one's a direct sequel to that. So, if you can play Fusion, I highly recommend you do so.
You heard it here. Brett recommends it. I'm
also
just happy
you need to get it.
Whatever means. I'm also just happy Metroid was even mentioned at all because they usually do Metroid dirty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, while we're talking about it, I know we talked about it before we started recording. Just real fast, I'll also just give my quick opinions on it. I like Metroid. I don't love Metroid, or at least not the 2D ones. That's never been super my jam. I love the Prime games. But as somebody that did play the shit out of Metroid Fusion back in the day, I'm still really excited to finally have a sequel to it. At Nibellion on Twitter also gave us some extra details coming from the Metroid Dread website, which is that the melee counter from the most recent Metroid Switch game returns, along with Dash Melee. We get free aim even while on the move. There's a new slide mechanic, a new ability called Spider Magnet, which allows you to climb and hang on walls, and that it's being developed by both the Metroid team and the Mercury team as well.
Dope.
Which is all really, really cool.
They did a great job on.
I don't have context for that, but it sounds cool.
Same.
Mercury worked on the 2 remake, right?
Returns.
Yeah. Returns. They
did an excellent job.
Yeah, Metroid is definitely like a franchise that I've always been like in passing. Like I should probably give this a try, and then seeing how good this game looks, and you guys suggesting I play Fusion, that I'm in.
I'm gonna back up this trailer though too, because I mean, just the action in this game looks really fast, like, and that's something that really appeals to me. It looks a lot faster. It looks really stylish, and that's not necessarily something that Metroid has always been. Like,
yeah, that's my
not
question.
The 2D ones. There was the dash mechanic there too, and so that's really cool. That I think the combat looks the most interesting Metroid has ever looked. And then of course you combine that with the absolute.
They look kind of like Bionicles.
Exploration, like.
Yeah, they do kind of look like Bionicles.
A little bit, right?
The whole vibe of this just looks sick as hell. Like, the more I watch of it, the more I'm getting excited for it. Initially, I was like, cool, Metroid, that's awesome that it's here. And now I'm like, damn, I really want to fucking play this game. Like, this.
I also expect
it
to look much more crisp when it actually comes out. Like, it does look a little rough in some spots, but I expect it.
It's also not great for some reason.
Switch Pro.
Yeah.
Fix your shit, IGN.
Even watching it live, I was like, a little bit. That kind of looks a little rough in some places, but I expect like
Metroid Returns look good when it launched though. I think it'll look nice by the time we get there.
Also, October release date, so like pretty quick.
Yeah, I love that.
We'll get back to Brett real quick. I just want to say that the only 2 things I know about Metroid at all is that female.
Yeah.
And then I see a lot of jokes about going into ball form, and then like I don't know, that leads into a bunch of jokes and memes. That's about it.
He's a really cool space guy who kills aliens and doesn't afraid of anything.
Gee.
Right.
No, Jordan made a great point that October is like a close release date for something nobody thought existed ever. So that was shocking too. But yeah, like I can't understate this enough. This is a sequel to a 20-year-old game. Like this is not just another Metroid game. This is the sequel, especially because Fusion changes up the status quo of Samus, like physically and like her status in the galaxy. So that's probably why they were afraid to make the sequel. And so the fact that they're doing it is like mind blowing. Like I was listening to the Kind of Funny reacts earlier, and they were like, "Yeah, never like give up on anything now." And now it's Metroid 5. Like unreal, man, unreal.
No, Mother 3 is coming. Like that's eventually.
Yeah, that's the next one. Mother 3.
Half-Life 3 is coming out this holiday.
God damn it.
Yes.
So I do want to mention one thing before we move on. October's looking really stacked.
I was literally about to say, the fall's looking crazy for video games right now, man.
In a good way, but also in a bad way, where it's like I can't keep up.
Where will
I can't
find the time?
It's a good problem to have, though. Overall.
Thank God I stream, because otherwise I would never finish any of these games.
Good point.
Real quick, and
sure.
I'm not going to get too ahead of myself here, but somebody tweeted out one of the big Twitter people, but they were like, they posted a calendar of like the rest of this year, and Nintendo Switch has a quote unquote big game. They have something for somebody every month. They're like, that's awesome, man. That's why I like the show so much. They filled out the year for every month for.
So next month is Skyward Sword. It's coming in August.
No, July 16th. Oh, what's coming in August? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying next month is Skyward Sword. August is Skatebird for me. I know that. That's going to be a Switch game. But in terms of like actual Nintendo games.
Actual Nintendo.
I'm looking it up here real quick.
Then this is October. Pokemon's November. So August and September are the ones where I'm like, huh.
Probably a cool indie coming to Switch, honestly. There's a lot of indies that was shown at E3. I can see it's one of those coming in August. I know it's not a big Nintendo game, but I can see that like selling a lot.
Is it Shin Megami Tensei? Is that coming out this year or no?
September? Oh, it might be.
Maybe.
That is September. I think you're right. Hold on.
If you can't find the tweet, it's fine. I'm gonna have to waste time on that.
Yeah, we're moving on. Moving on. Mario Party Superstars coming to Switch October 20th.
Yes.
Another October banger.
Yes.
So, what do we think?
I have thoughts.
Mario Party's bullshit.
Yes,
but it is. But that's what makes it fun, in my opinion. I just
Jordan, no.
I can't stand Mario Party, bro. Like I saw this
like
and like, in my office. I went.
The bullshit is what makes it fun. It's kind of like Fall Guys to me.
Mario Party sucks and I hate it.
Well, you know what? I hate you, Chris.
Okay.
Whoa.
No,
Whoa.
No,
I just
here's
wish.
the thing though is I'm still gonna buy it, like, cause I'm a fucking sucker. My wife loves
But you don't
Mario
even
Party.
you don't even like the game and you'll buy it.
Yeah, just out of spite. Because my wife's gonna want to play it. She loves Mario Party. So.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna give them my hard-earned cash.
$60.
That's the thing. I just wish that this was
40.
DLC for Super Mario Party. I don't even wish it was cheaper. Like if they were like, this is so big, it's worth the price of another game, but it's built in to Super Mario Party, which was a meh Mario Party.
They really did say, yo, fuck Super Mario Party, didn't they? They're like, it's dead on the side of the road, man.
And this is
fair,
clearly
this is what people wanted. This is what people wanted. They didn't want.
Yeah, this is what people wanted for a long time.
But commit. That's all I'm saying. Like
this is basically looks so much like Super Mario Party. You could have, if I didn't know anything, you could have told me this was DLC, and I'd believe it. It's 100% the same engine. So
I thought it was when they opened.
It's also wild that they're not just being like, hey, instead of it being a separate game, here's like, you know, Mario Party Superstars. I'm surprised that they're just like, yo, here's a DLC pack of old maps and mini.
That's really what I thought it would be, and that would just add so much content to the game, which was a lackluster Mario Party game which kind of had a little bit of a resurgence now that they added online a few months ago. And to be clear, in my opinion, the gameplay of Super Mario Party is good. It's just that a lot of there's 3 maps. Some of them are pretty small. And then there's the bullshit with like the random stars at the end. So if you could like turn that off and then play these, I would have loved that. But now it's like I have to own 2 Mario Party. So it's like, well, which one am I going to play?
Yeah.
Okay. It's Nintendo.
This
real
one
quick.
Is the answer. You're going to play this one.
It's Nintendo. So if they were to put all this in the first game, that's not as much money for them. So they're releasing a whole separate game because it's 2 marketing beats. Because now the next Mario Party game can be Super Mario Party 2. And then so they get an extra game of $60 a pop.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, I'm saying it's a Nintendo move. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would argue that this game. I mean, the original game launched with 4 maps. This one launches with 5. This one already has more content.
I think the original had 3.
It had 4. Yeah, it had 3. It had 3 off the rip. But then if you like played each board, you can unlock a 4th board.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but
you wouldn't know because you're not a real gamer, Jordan.
You know how much shit there is to do in that game? Like I just play the board game aspect of it. Like there's a whole section where like you're on a raft with people and
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing is this game doesn't do the dice mechanic from Super Mario Party where you could pick Wario's dice, Birdo's dice, whatever. It was cool. But this is like the classic formula that everyone fell in love with at the jump, right? Yeah. And the board design in Super Mario Party was so. Like the boards in Super Mario Party aren't that great. These are like 5 classic boards from the 3 best games. Like the board design is just gonna be incredible. The mini games are gonna be way better. It's the classic mini games that we all love. Like this is what we wanted when Super Mario Party got announced 3 years ago, and as online off the jump. Like I'm overjoyed.
It probably won't work. Just saying.
Well, so from what I've heard, the online in Super Mario Party works pretty damn well.
Now.
They just added it.
No. When they first added it, it didn't work right away either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, last month it was a little rough last month. Yeah, and it had to get patched.
Hey, this is a thing. And it didn't work. It's like nope, not a thing.
It was just a server test for this game, clearly.
That's right.
I think it
100% was. Yeah, I'm not even saying that sarcastically.
It's just so funny how they've just thrown Super Mario Party by the wayside. They're like, you know what? We don't care.
Well, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Like that game is still the same game it was yesterday. Nothing's changed, and
nothing changed other than the fact that we have a better option.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can buy the new one then, right? And I think Greg Miller said this. It was like Nintendo did not condition us to anticipate continued support for Super Mario Party. So when I saw this game, I wasn't like, oh man, why aren't they adding this to the existing game? Like I was just like, oh, it's here, and the Super Mario Party came out 3 years ago. I know they just added the online update recently, but I mean, this is gonna be an awesome experience, man. I can't wait.
I'm just wondering, like, when we're gonna have the moment where like a lot of these games are like a platform, right? Like, there's always the talk that like, why is it Madden a thing you pay $60 for, and then next year is like, all right, here's a roster update. You know, Baker Mayfield's in Jacksonville for some reason. Here's $20 you pay for the roster update, whatever, like additional stuff. Like you just upgrade it, like Overwatch. Like, Overwatch is a platform now, you know.
Exactly, and I feel like with enough updates, they really could have done that. They really could have done that because the name isn't numbered. It's Super Mario Party, and sure, you didn't live up to that name when it first came out. But if you go, hey, you can now play around with the rules. So if you don't want the dies that aren't just 1 through 6, turn that off. If you don't want the bullshit stars at the end, turn that off. We're adding in these classic maps. We are adding in these other mini games, and then that would also be like, hey, let's say that's $20 to $30. And next year, now give us more maps from, let's say, 4 through 6 and a bunch of good mini games as well. Another $20.
From what I understand, people don't want that. Like the first 3 games are like the good games.
Okay, I never started playing Mario Party.
The idea of it, I think, is I think they had the opportunity to be able to build something like that. Yeah. And they said nobody likes this one. We're just gonna remake the old ones.
Exactly. And I can't speak to which Mario parties are good / bad to the public eye. The first Mario Party I ever played.
It's usually the even number ones that are good.
Gosh, the first one I ever played was one of the ones on GameCube. It was either 6 or 7. Were those GameCube ones? I don't. I think GameCube might have had multiple, but
4 through 7.
4 through 7 was on GameCube. Okay, then I have no idea which one it was. I just know I played, that one a lot, and I really liked it. And so, I just feel like, sure, maybe they weren't as good as the first 3 in the public eye, but like you can't tell me there were no good mini games or no good maps between 4 and 10. Or
I think what they'll do is, I mean, I don't know, like Super Mario Party. Sold like crazy for Switch. If you like, it's like 13 million or something, like way higher than any other Mario Party game. So
because Switch just has that love for it.
They also have a huge install base though too.
For sure,
like much higher than the Wii U, you know.
Yeah. But I think it was Austin. Oh my gosh, it was Austin or Chris. I'm gonna rise above. It was Austin or Chris. It was Austin or Chris that, man, I lost my train of thought. Did you throw me off with the Wii U comment, bro?
I'm waiting in anticipation for what I may or may not have done. Like, I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
Either way, Mario Party, this is what we wanted from the jump, I feel like. And Super Mario Party just getting thrown in the trash for Nintendo to bring back randomly for another $60, it seems like.
No, yeah.
But
Switch Pro.
This should be great, though. This should be what people want.
Yeah. I'm going to buy it. Mario Party's bullshit.
I just don't think they're gonna do the plan of adding stuff to it. That doesn't seem like a Nintendo thing for me to do. But
Waypoint plays.
Yeah, I was about to say we need to do a Waypoint plays.
We're 100% gonna do a play of it.
And we're all gonna gang up on Chris. Okay.
I'm gonna be so fucking furious the whole time.
Segue.
That's every TikTok is just like Chris angry.
Yeah, pretty much. We can do that same crap with 2-player mode on the next game.
Now this game is great.
WarioWare with 2-player now.
Holy
together.
shit! I'm so excited about it.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Take all the bullshit out of Mario Party. This is the greatest party game that's ever been made.
But there's no competition to it.
It's so weird how he hates Mario Party but loves WarioWare.
Because WarioWare's fun.
WarioWare.
Maybe you just suck at Mario Party.
You can't suck at Mario Party because it's bullshit.
That is what I'm is that so much of it is left up to RNG that you can't get. You're not supposed to actually get mad.
It's terrible.
Anyway, every WarioWare game.
I didn't think WarioWare was happening. I'm so excited that it's here. They have look at the remixes where the minigames are different depending on what character you're playing as. Like, 2 players.
September.
Yeah. I was gonna say
what September.
Every WarioWare game is a banger. Like even going back to the original Twisted, Touched, Smooth Moves, Game & Wario on the Wii U was fantastic. That might be one of the best Wii U games, like for real.
All 3 people played it.
Wow.
And then did anybody get WarioWare Gold on 3DS like 3 years ago, 2 years ago? Yeah, like that felt so odd to release that game at the end of, because it was like the DS at that
they usually came out like pretty close to the.
They didn't have the juice. The Switch was out already for like a year or something, and it just felt a weird move to put that game out that late on the cycle. So
or the two screen thing. It did. Yeah. Okay, so they can't really easily port that to Switch, is what you're saying?
No, not
a lot of those mini games wouldn't work on Switch. No,
not the touch games. Damn. Yeah, but yeah, I just didn't think it bode well for that future of the series if they put that game out on the 3DS that late. So I was a little shocked to see WarioWare show up today. But my God, like WarioWare is. Did they talk about any online functionality?
I believe they said it'll be online.
Okay, because like that game is so fun to play with friends, especially local. Like if you have friends, in your neck of the woods, like I remember hours playing the original on Game Boy, where you each held a part of the Game Boy and played these weird, bizarre games with one button, but they worked and they were fun.
It's like, do you remember on the DS and Touch, you could play ping pong?
Yes.
Where you'd both hold it.
And
each side of the table was the screen, and so you'd press the trigger to hit it back and forth. It was so cool.
Dude, yeah, I'm excited, and like Jordan said earlier with Mario Party, the Switch juice is gonna just explode, man. It's gonna make this game explode. I can't wait.
Such a great art style. Like every single song in all of the games are just massive bangers. Like the micro games are hilarious. It's got just such a weird and fantastic sense of humor, and it's I can't wait to play this, dude.
I've played them in passing. Don't ask me which ones. I have no idea. I just know like I'd go to a friend's house and we would play WarioWare and stuff like that. And I've never had a bad experience with WarioWare.
Same with you, Austin. Yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah, I've never had a bad issue with it, but I can't tell you which ones I've played.
Sure.
I just had fun.
Yep. So coming out September, WarioWare, get it together.
Excited.
Get it together.
Hey.
Moving on. I put this on the list because I really like this franchise, but I don't know about anyone else. Super Monkey Ball.
Yes.
I love this franchise.
Since the
Dude, they're remaking the OGs.
I have played Super Monkey Ball once, and it was at friend of the show, Lee Aaron, at her house. She loved it. She grew up on it. I never played it. Fuck that game. Fuck those physics. Fuck it. No. Fuck it to all hell. I could not fucking go in a straight line in that game. I feel about this game how Chris feels about Mario Party, except I won't buy this.
This podcast is going somewhere. Like, so going some places, and I love it. I love it so much.
Listen, for all the Super Monkey Ball fans out there, listen, I'm happy for you, but fuck this franchise.
It looks so pretty.
I think what I like about it is because is there anything else like Super Monkey Ball except for like marble games?
I was about to say like Ultra Marble Blast on the 360.
Yeah, but there's something about the way this is presented. And
the level designs are just.
I was getting there.
I'll tell you why I don't like it. I don't like that the speed is on how far the joystick goes. I'd rather it be trigger based like a car, because I just can't hold the controller and not put the joystick forward.
You sound so.
That's part of it, though. Is the momentum
you're all gas, no brake, homie. You gotta learn to ride it a little.
Yeah, but when every other car game I've ever played in the history of fucking video gaming has like, hey, you steer with this, but this is the gas, and now this one's like, nope, you're a fucking pilot. You gotta control. I'm like, I don't have the dexterity for this.
When you're playing Super Monkey Ball, you're not controlling the ball.
You control the level.
Boom. You control the monkey. Kind of. Ape.
Not really. Either.
Wait, hold on. You
control the level. For the most part, yeah. You're pretty much.
I can't tell you.
Those arcade games, right, where you like try to get the like marble all the way down.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I remember enjoying them a ton as a kid. Like it's kind of similar to WarioWare.
Are they all like that?
Yes.
Or yeah. Huh.
Here's the thing about
Monkey Ball. No one told me that.
Shit.
So with Banana Blitz, right?
It's an epiphany for Jordan. Like just epiphany on screen. Like, holy shit, I get it now.
No, so when they remade Banana Blitz, that game wasn't originally that celebrated on its original release for Wii. This is a remake of the good ones. So this is the one to get excited about. 1, 2, and was it Mega Mix or something like that? The one that kind of combined 1 and 2 together.
Touch and
Deluxe,
Roll?
I think it was.
Deluxe, yes. Yeah. Deluxe. So this is like this is the one, if you care about Super Monkey Ball and you want to see a new one ever, like this is the one to get, because this is the good ones being remade for the new gen.
And it looks very good too. Like it's really
I'm not gonna buy it.
clean. We're looking at a solid 60 frames. Like
I'm in.
Dude, the online multiplayer is gonna be it's gonna be unreal, man. This is gonna be so much fun.
I saw some of the mini games in there. We saw like the pool and the soccer, and so yeah, this is just gonna be a good time.
Also, just
imagine this Switch Pro DLSS.
Yeah. Well, no, if you look at the very end, it's not just coming to Switch. It's coming Xbox,
it's coming to everything. Yeah,
I was
Xbox, PlayStation.
I was
November,
touch on that too, because I was hoping that we would get like a
I have November
handheld.
Just said in the video.
To where you could tilt the Switch.
Use the motion controls. I bet you could.
I think that'd be.
I wonder what DualSense stuff you can do.
I also think it was a weird choice to start it with bananas as like the messaging. And it's like, because everyone's like Donkey Kong in space.
I was with Blessing. When I was watching Kind of Funny stream. I was like, oh my god, is it Donkey Kong? I was like, wait, 20 years. That's not right.
I thought it was Star Fox.
You're right. I was wrong.
They said roll, and then they showed space. I was like, oh fuck, like a barrel roll, right? And then I saw Super Monkey Ball, and I was like, fuck this shit.
It's Nintendo playing
look, October 5th, and it's coming to all. Yeah, it's coming to all platforms.
So whoever took that from, IGN, get your shit together, because they have November 12th.
Liars.
What the fuck?
Anyway, who knows? But my favorite announcement is the next one. Any last thoughts on Super Monkey Ball?
Excited?
Yeah, fuck this game.
Yeah,
I'm in day one. But my favorite announcement on a franchise I've always wanted to play, but never really have: Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. What do we think? So I'm stoked for this.
I can't fucking wait.
Beautiful.
Advance Wars was one of the very first games I got on my Game Boy Advance because I got in early. This is a launch title. It's such a cool concept. It was so much fun. It was one of the only like Game Boy Advance games I can think of that had local multiplayer to where you'd play four people and you'd take your turn, you'd pass the Game Boy to the next person, they'd take their turn and they'd pass it. Like it was so rad.
Sure.
So
look at these sprites. Like if you look at the animations of them like in their little character blocks, they're just like.
I love it. I'm in.
I played the game for the first time about 1 hour ago when we were discussing it. I just opened up a little. I just opened up a little emulator, and it's like, I was just still going through the tutorials. It's like I kind of get it. Like, I am intrigued. Like maybe
game for sure.
It is, and I'm not sure how much I'm into that, but. It's a game to play in short bursts is something I enjoy.
Yeah.
So part of me almost wishes that there was also like a mobile port for this just to like play in lulls, but I went from being like, I don't get the point of this game to like, you know what? You've caught my attention.
So for those who have played the originals, what is so great about them? Why is this hype?
I'll send you the link right now, Austin.
He's playing on stream.
I gushed a little bit. You take it away, Brett.
Okay, the joy of Advance Wars is the tactical strategy of the game, the fun, cartoony militaristic theme, and the story. Like honestly, like Andy and a couple of the protagonists from 1 and 2, like they're just cool people and they're just fun to
great writing.
Yeah, and you buy into the story of all these factions warring against each other and them eventually teaming up and later sequels and all that. But it's just a fun game, and I'm gonna say this: suck it, Fire Emblem, because I was tired. I was tired and angry that Fire Emblem came in and stole Advance Wars thunder. We don't care about swords or shields. We care about big guns, and now they're back.
I've always felt that Advance Wars was better than Fire Emblem. I'm putting that out there right now. And I mean, part of the fun is like it's this cool strategy game where it's like certain units are better against others. Certain units can only go through like different terrain. You're capturing cities. You're loading your troops in these big transports, and you load them and then loading them. And each one of the different characters, the commanders, all have abilities that are charging up over time, and they all do different things, and that also works into the strategy, and you're trying to work out like their troop movements and yours, while also like, oh man, he's got his power ready, I gotta be ready for that, and all their different levels on it. It's surprisingly like it's both accessible, but it's like an easy to learn, hard to master kind of game too. There's a decent amount of depth there, but also the maps are all small enough too, because I mean it was originally made for a handheld to where your matches aren't going to take terribly long. It's an easy thing to sit down and just play for a little while and get your action out of it and then go about your day or whatever you're doing. Like it's awesome. And the fact that it's 1 and 2 is really, really cool as well.
Now, how different are the gameplay mechanics between the two?
Not terribly.
Okay.
It's 1 and 2 are similar. It's Dual Strike, the next one, that takes a more bigger jump. That's because it went to the DS. But yeah, the story is just so wacky. Like your commanders have super ultimate abilities that will block out the sun, so like certain units have less visibility and just crazy stuff like that that just can dynamically change the feel of battle.
No, I get you. Yeah, it's that classic military style of making sure you block out the sun.
Then we shall die in the shade.
I think it started in the French Revolution, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that. One of them, for a couple turns, will just improve the unit types and everything. So you'll watch cars turn into tanks or something like that, or suddenly everyone's holding bazookas and that sort of thing. It's really, really cool.
So if the cars turn into tanks, what do the tanks turn into?
Sure.
Yeah, my random question is how weird is it? And then they're not 1 for 1, but Metal Slug Tactics and Advance Wars 1 and 2 are both announced as E3.
Pretty cool point. Yeah.
How strange is that? Both war strategy games.
And
they look really good, both of them individually.
I'm into them both.
Metal Slug is more isometric, where it's that close in kind of angled camera, and then the story for Metal Slug, if that anime kind of intro is anything to go by, maybe it's more involved storytelling, where Advance Wars is typically the dialogue at the beginning and ends of each mission will kind of set the tone of where everybody's at in the story. Yeah.
Yeah. The Metal Slug Tactics, I mean, even just by the name, reminds me a ton of it's like Final Fantasy Tactics, but it's Metal Slug instead, which is cool. Final Fantasy Tactics is another great strategy game that if you haven't played, you should. Especially
how awesome!
Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, because the Game Boy Advance was a perfect console.
Hey.
I was gonna say, how awesome is the title of this port though?
Reboot Camp.
Dude, that was brilliant, man. It's great marketing.
Yeah, no, that's a good pun.
Kudos to that intern at 3 o'clock in the morning that just cracked a beer. Was I got it.
100%. So
Nintendo.
Speaking of Metal Slug Tactics, that was Albob's game of the show when we did SGF, and Albob has some thoughts about the Nintendo Direct that I will read. I don't want to leave him out. I didn't want to just. Because he couldn't be here today. Hope maybe he's dead. We don't know. We'll never know. We'll find out probably.
This is the epitaph.
He says, this Direct had me hyped. A sequel to Metroid Fusion, one of my favorite games of all time, Mario Party Superstars, freaking Advance Wars 1 and 2 remastered, and Breath of the Wild 2. So much good stuff. While I'm a little disappointed Breath of the Wild 2 is 2022 and there is no Switch Pro news, they're setting 2021 up to be a very solid year for Nintendo. And on top of all that, Mario Golf is out next week. It's a good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
So many good games, not enough time. Also, they didn't even mention the Gen 4 remakes, Jordan. Didn't even mention them. Didn't even bring them up.
That'll be a
thing. That I'm not too surprised about. There have been some whispers that Pokemon wasn't going to have a presence at E3. I can't even... So the last remakes that were a generational remakes were Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So I actually can't even remember what their presence were with Nintendo's E3. But Pokemon is this weird situation where the IP is not an in-house owned thing by Nintendo. It's owned by the Pokemon Company, who will only ever publish with Nintendo, other than mobile games and stuff. So I think what will happen is you'll hear Pokemon's going to be we'll have a Pokemon Presents, and they will probably have more to talk about than just Diamond and Pearl, in my own thoughts, because it is an anniversary year, and it's been pretty lackluster since the last one.
That's true.
And his last thought, Albob's last thought, before his dying wish, I don't know the new Smash Bros. Character, but that trailer was hype and a great way to start off the Direct. There's going to be
wait, how does he not know Kazuya?
Throwing people off the cliff.
I
don't play Tekken.
I didn't know him by name. I knew him. I knew him as a character, but I didn't know him by name.
Fair.
But Albob, I think we share a lot of your thoughts. It's a good point in bringing up Mario Golf, but yeah, Nintendo looks to have a banging year. Overall, I think that's the consensus. All this looks pretty hype. Is there anything I left out? That's all I want to bring up.
Not necessarily game-wise. I did want to just point this little screen out here. The Kazuya gets ready for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle is what they say. Launching into Tekken fights, and that's the text the exact text that they use in Tekken as well. It's very
Cool.
the little touches
that's
and
the exact
details
font.
that they put into Smash characters is ridiculous.
100%.
Yeah.
Brett?
So I know
Or Jordan, sorry. Either one.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna.
Whoever was gonna go ahead.
Again.
Oh, you got it, Jordan.
All right. So I was just gonna say, so we saw Guardians of the Galaxy towards the beginning. Just they did say that is gonna be another one that's like
Cloud game.
Control.
Cloud-based.
Yeah, or it's gonna be a cloud-based until the Switch Pro comes along. But I didn't say that.
Yeah.
But that one's gonna be cloud-based. So just I wanted to notate that.
Honestly,
It's cool that it's coming to the Switch at all, though. I think I played
cool.
a bit of Control on the cloud version. I was surprised at how well.
If you're like a 12-year-old, kid who doesn't have any other console except the Switch, and you're a huge like Marvel fan or something, like this is the best you're gonna get. And so, I've never actually played a cloud game on Switch. I don't know how good it is.
Yeah,
What's the other one?
I played the Control demo that they put
Resident
out,
Evil 7,
and I think it's still I think the cloud the Control demo is still available if you want to give it a shot too. It performs surprisingly well. Like I was impressed.
I think all the cloud games they give you a demo, and it's probably just for people to trust in. Yeah, to trust in the technology and the internet connection there.
Yeah, obviously that's not a one size fits all situation. It's going to depend on your personal internet connection and everything. But it's like if it's something that works well for you, I mean, it's honestly it's a great way to go because you don't really lose the graphic fidelity. It's not tied down to the hardware of the Switch, which is really really neat. And so I mean, yeah, it looks really really good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any last thoughts before we close it out?
I did want to
USA game. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I forgot.
There's what?
Cruising USA.
Like Cruising USA.
Oh yeah.
Or like Cruising World, right? Or Cruising for is that what a Cruising for Abusing or something?
Is it a
Cruising
is it a
Blast.
port
Cruising
or a
Blast.
remake?
It's a brand new game.
Yeah. Yeah, brand new. That's just the weirdest thing ever.
Dude, oh my gosh, I rented Cruising USA on N64 like 20 times. That's awesome.
That's one of my favorite games to go to the arcade and play. Like this is neat.
Yeah, arcade. That's all. Like I have like this fond memory of.
This whole direct was very very focused on like legacy titles or legacy franchises.
Yeah.
And still with which is amazing. 1, 2, but still with that being said, I would never have expected this to be the IP or the franchise that they brought back. What?
It just seems like such a relic of its time in some ways. I'm not saying that it doesn't deserve to come back, but it is that's a very N64 era style of not a game, let alone a racing game. And in a world where it's either kart racers or the hyper realistic ones like Forza and Gran Turismo, I think it's nice to have this kind of more in the middle.
Those UFOs.
Yes. Yeah, I think
that was a shark.
I think the way Cruising USA fits into that, it's more on the kart racer side where like I remember playing the old games where like you would like there's those secret shortcuts where you could burst through like some foliage or go through like a secret tunnel, or I mean you could be like a Humvee and shoot like the turret and it wouldn't do anything, but you could just shoot the turret, and like it was kind of a little wacky. So it's more.
Are there weapons?
Racer. It's always cool to see a split screen. No, it's always cool to see a split screen like this. That's just a much like
you can ride a goddamn
sort of a
Triceratops
thing from a bygone era, but it's cool to see that representation there. I mean, it's like. He said it's like a kart racer. I mean, it's literally an arcade game, so it's gonna play like an arcade style racer, and that's still cool to see support for that sort of thing. Is this a full $60? I don't know that I'd pay $60 for it, but if it's like
that's my worry. That's my worry for it. If it's 20, I feel like that's a sweet spot.
If it's like 20, 30,
here's the thing: it should be 20, which is why it's gonna be 40.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. Advance
Switch
Wars, I think that's gonna be a full $60 game.
It is.
It is.
1 and 2 games.
It mentioned that.
It's true. That at least that one you get to be like, well,
I'm
it's
okay with that. Yeah.
It's 2 games with online multiplayer, which I don't think we touched on either. I should have.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it in passing. I think you mentioned it. But yeah, this game looks. I mean, I'm just happy this thing exists.
It's dumb fun, and I like that.
Yeah.
I will.
For the record.
I'll say this. I think my biggest critique of the direct was that it was a pretty short direct, which is fine, but they wasted about a fourth of it on games that we had already seen this weekend just to be like, oh, this is coming to Switch, by the way.
Yeah.
Which was kind of annoying, especially because so I was like, what's the point of showing Guardians? Because they didn't even mention it was the cloud version in the direct. So what was the point of showing it when we all knew it was coming to Switch based off the showing at Square Enix? And then one of my coworkers, because I was watching this at work like a bad employee does, and he pulled up the Square Enix Presents, and the Switch logo wasn't actually there. So I was like, did they not put their logos on games just so they could show them at their own direct? Because I feel like you just could have shown something substantial in those 10 minutes where you had this, you had the 2 Point Campus. I can't remember what else, but a lot in the... Life is Strange remaster. Yeah, there was like just a segment in the beginning where it was all games that we had seen this weekend specifically, like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 coming to the Switch. I get that's a game that at this point is almost a year old, and you're like, oh, by the way, it's coming here. I get that.
Gonna buy it
but for all games that we had seen within the last 2 days, just to be like, oh, we're gonna throw these in there.
With that being said, to their credit, they put it all at the beginning.
Yeah.
That
was all one montage too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also will purchase Tony Hawk again. Please make another one.
I'm not a huge Danganronpa fan, but was anybody excited about that series coming to Switch?
Not personally, but I know that there are people who are extremely excited about that.
Oh yeah.
This is their like holy grail. Like there's a lot of people that love this franchise.
And they're nerds.
Even if like they are. But there's got to be some kid out there who's like picks it up. Who's like, wait, this is awesome. Like for the first time ever, and that's the good thing about it being on Switch.
Good point.
What is it? Has anyone here ever played it?
No.
No,
I know what it is.
I watched Ian Why Not play through it. It's like if you mashed. It's like it's anime Clue. Is I think the best way to put it.
Yeah.
It's like anime Clue, but with like Phoenix Wright style like cross examinations.
It sounds cool.
It's interesting
for me,
for
like
sure.
I'm happy it's a franchise I don't want to play because there's already so many franchises and games I want to play that when I see a franchise I'm like that looks dope, but I'm not interested, and I kind of like that where I'm like I'm just happy this exists for the fans, and then I'll go on my merry way.
Like I hope it does well, but not for me. No, thank
exactly.
you.
Yeah, I think it reviews well usually, like at least 8.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Or sorry that happened. I ain't reading all that.
100%. So yeah, overall, over the 2021's Nintendo Direct was pretty good. I think overall they right under Xbox for me, under Xbox and Bethesda. Brett, I think it's his number one. He kind of gave me a little hint earlier, but yeah, I think overall it was a pretty stellar showing.
Agreed.
I agree with you, Austin. I think it's number 2 for me for like right under Xbox, but that's not. It's not like a bad 2. It's like a 1.5 basically.
I do want to stress that. I mean, since some of these things were kind of stinkers in our minds, people really worked hard to get these things made. Like the fact that they even showed up at all and had a presentation prepared with this post-COVID world. Like, I mean, props to them. I'm sure people worked extremely hard to get these things out. But yeah, my favorite was Xbox and Bethesda. But props to everyone who showed up at E3.
Yeah,
did their thing.
Absolutely.
Credits to everybody being there, and Xbox was going to be a hard one to top anyway. Like that was just Even if it was a regular year and everyone's bringing their A game, like Xbox still would have had a stellar conference. Like that was something else.
100%. Yeah.
Hard to pass that up.
And for me in particular, this is like such a sweet spot of like a lot of my favorite stuff. Like I never thought we would get Metroid 5. I never thought we would get another Advance Wars game. I did not think we were going to get Mario Party. Mario Party N64 remakes. I didn't think we were going to get a WarioWare game, and this all happened in like one show. So I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Over 40 minutes, like 40 minutes of like bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, good showing. Good showing overall. Any last thoughts?
Yeah.
You done?
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up.
Good games are fun, man.
The games are fun. You heard it here. Brett says it. The games are fun. Well, that'll do it for our Nintendo coverage of E3. E3 is over. We did it. We lasted.
We made it through it. Everyone's alive.
Not all of us did. Al Bob didn't survive, unfortunately, which is why we had to read his last will and testament. Yeah.
Yeah, poor guy. That's his last will. Whew.
But hey,
you know, he didn't know who Kazuya was, so it's fine.
No, and listen, only 1 out of 6 of us dying. Not too bad. Not too bad for our first E3.
Yeah, that's good odds.
We take those.
Al Bob, we love you. You were a workhorse, and thank you so much for what you've done. But we are going to sign off.
And we will never forget you.
We'll never forget you. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
See you at the next one.
Bye.